What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Cafe and Views. Today we went to GoodBoyBob and we got ourselves the Espresso Tonic. Let's talk about the coffee shop. So the coffee shop is maybe 2-3 miles away from the beach. So if you want to enjoy your coffee at the beach, this might not be a location that you would go to, but it is kind of secluded. So you're not really going to be able to tell or find this location just by driving on the road. You kind of have to go through this alleyway to really get to the shop. So it's kind of like your getaway coffee shop that not many people know about. If you're trying to go get some coffee and you're not really trying to be noticed, this is definitely a good shop. The exterior is pretty nice. It's surrounded by green vines. There's a lot of seating outside. The interior is also really nice. You wouldn't really be able to tell that it has a lot of indoor seating by looking from the outside. They definitely have couches, chairs, and it's an overall nice environment to be at if you're trying to enjoy your coffee indoors. Their menu is also not too extensive. There's not really much to choose from in terms of complexity. The Espresso Tonic was probably the most complex coffee that they had. They do have some snacks to get when you're trying to enjoy your coffee. Their tea menu is a lot more extensive than their coffee menu. The coffee is basic cappuccino, macchiato, latte, things like that. And then their tea menu, that's when it gets really complex and they start mixing around with different types of flavors. You get toffee, rose, nectar. Aside from the snacks, they do have food that you can get to satisfy going during breakfast, going during lunch. And if you want to be a little bit more sophisticated and drink something else as opposed to coffee and tea, they definitely have wine and beer. So it's definitely a versatile coffee shop that not many people know about because it's so secluded and because it's kind of out of the way. For GoodBoyBob, I'm gonna put this cafe at about a 4 out of 5. Acidity. Espresso Tonic is double espresso, fever tree tonic, and yuzu syrup. So this is definitely a different take on the coffee. I'm getting a mixture of both sour and sweet at the same time. At the initial sip, I'm tasting more of the sour notes, but then when it's fully on my tongue, it's starting to become really sweet and it's kind of balancing and fighting each other out. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds if you're into that. For me, since this coffee is different, since it's a tonic and it has different kind of syrups and ingredients, I would want that because I want to be able to try to see if this coffee is unique, if I can include it in my rotations. This coffee is pretty lively because of that sour note, because of that sweet note, because of the tonic. So the tonic creates an extra kind of acidity. If you ever had seltzered water and you get the kind of tingle and it kind of has a sort of flavor to it, that's exactly what you get in this coffee. But the tonic is more subtle than an actual carbonated drink for acidity. Because it's different, because it's sweet and sour at the same time, I'm gonna put this at a 4 out of 5. Aroma. So the aroma is exactly like the flavor, like the taste of it. You're getting that same exact double espresso smell, a little bit of the tonic water smell, but you're mostly getting that yuzu syrup in addition to the espresso. And it's really prominent, it's really out there, it's gonna be really in your face. The aroma is definitely not shy when it comes to this coffee. It's definitely gonna be in your face and real prominent and potent. And the coffee is attracting you for more. The smell alone is attracting you to go back and get another sip. And you are able to taste it just based off the smell. Just a little bit of that aroma in your nose, it translates perfectly to your tongue. You're able to get that full sensation without even having to take a sip of it. So the aroma is definitely off to a good start. If you just smell this coffee and you don't taste it, you're definitely gonna be pleased just by the aroma alone. It definitely has a different kind of scent than most coffees do. That yuzu syrup is definitely the main attraction in this coffee. It's definitely gonna be different than other coffees that you might have smelled. For aroma, I'm putting this at a 3.5 out of 5. Body. So this coffee feels like a watered down soda, but you are getting a little bit of that tonic aftertaste. It does have a little bit of a creaminess to it, as you can tell at the top of the coffee. And the texture's there. Tonic water is making your tongue feel fizzy. So there's definitely a different element in terms of the coffee. You're getting that creaminess, you're getting that fizziness in the coffee, and you're also getting the sweet and sour sensation. And because it's creamy, it is going to provide a slight weight to it. It is sticking around and it's not going away. Since the coffee doesn't dissipate, I'm gonna attribute the tonic water to that. It's adding to the stay of the coffee. For body, I'm gonna put this at a 3.5 out of 5. Flavor. The flavor, in addition with the aroma, is going hand in hand, so you are able to pick up that aroma smell into the flavor, and then when you're tasting it, you can remember the aroma, and it's gonna be 100% to the T type of scent and flavor. Just having the tonic flavor and having to be sweet and sour right at the same time, it's creating that unique flavor that you wouldn't really get in other coffees. That tree tonic mixed with the yuzu syrup and the double shot of espresso, it's gonna create that nice pleasant flavor that it's gonna make you go back in and take another sip, and before you realize you're gonna be gone with the coffee. One of the more flavors that are really prominent in this coffee is that syrup. I'm getting more of that syrup in the aroma and in the flavor, so it's kind of sticking out a lot more than normal. And like I mentioned, this coffee tastes like a soda, so it's definitely enhancing the flavor a lot and making me go back into it and keep tasting it. I don't really drink soda. I don't really like the carbonation effect or the sugars in it, but this coffee is bringing me back to those memories. It's a lot more enjoyable. For flavor, I'm putting this at 4.5 out of 5. Aftertaste. The coffee is changing. I am getting more of that sour note that's starting to peak out a lot more when the coffee's gone. You were able to detect that sweet and sour note at the same time with the body, but once the coffee is gone, you're getting more of that sour note. But because it's tonic and because the tonic stays on your tongue, it is providing a unique feeling, and it is sticking around, it is coating your tongue, and it's not going away quickly. That's why the coffee is becoming sour, because of that sour sensation, because of the espresso, and because of the tonic. So all that combined is lingering and sticking around. And the one lingering flavor that I'm getting is that espresso with the sour note, and then the yuzu syrup. It has a different kind of unique sweetness to it, but I am really enjoying the aftertaste in this coffee. It really does feel like a soda, not just the sensation, but the actual taste feels like a real soda, but just a little bit watered down, so it's not real carbonated. For aftertaste, I'm putting this at a 4.5 out of 5. Sweetness. It's a little bit more on the sweeter side because of that syrup. The syrup is overpowering the espresso, but not 100%, because you are still able to detect that the sourness from the espresso. That's what makes this coffee both sour and sweet at the same time, kind of like a Sour Patch Kid. Having it be a little bit more sweet, it's not at the perfect level that I enjoy at the middle point. It doesn't taste sugary and it doesn't taste over the top, and it does have that sour sweetness combined with the tonic, so it creates that different kind of effect that I haven't had, but it does maintain that same consistency. It does maintain that sour and sweetness from the beginning to the end. It doesn't change. With the sweetness, it's not washing out the flavor, because the unique yuzu syrup is creating that flavor, and it is creating that nice tonic flavor without being over the top with sugar. So for sweetness, I am gonna put this at a 3 out of 5. Complexity. It is complex because I haven't had a coffee that has unique tonic to it. This has Fever Tree Tonic in addition to the yuzu syrup, so it's definitely real complex and unique there. None of the coffee shops that I've been to actually had tonic or the yuzu syrup. They've had syrup, but not quite the same syrup, and that's why the uniqueness of the yuzu is making it seem like it's sweet. And then look at the coffee. It kind of has that traditional coffee look now, but in the beginning it had the foam on top, the coffee in the middle, and then you could see the tonic water at the bottom. The color of the tonic was really, it kind of reminded me of like ginger ale. And then the coffee shop also being secluded and also having to go down an alleyway to find it, but then being rewarded once you see the coffee shop because it looks nice, because it's unique. For complexity, I'm definitely gonna give this coffee a 4.5 out of 5. Balance. With the coffee being both sour and sweet at the same time, that's what's creating that balance. The sour is not being more prominent and the sweetness not being more prominent. It creates that perfect balance from the beginning to the end. The initial sip is sour, and then the coating is sweet, and then when it goes down your throat, it starts the process all over again. So it has that nice balance from the beginning to the end, and you are able to figure out the coffee. So if you didn't know that it was a tonic coffee, you are able to figure out that it has some carbonation to it. The only thing that sticks out is that syrup, but it has to, because that's what makes the coffee have its flavor. So it's that iconic syrup that makes the coffee what it is. For balance, I'm putting this at a 4 out of 5. Versatility. I would say that this coffee is not as versatile because of that double espresso, because of the tonic, and it's gonna be kind of a unique sensation. If you want a unique and really enjoyable flavor and you want to be woken up, then definitely grab this coffee because of that double espresso. You want to be able to grab this coffee during Friday or Saturday when it's really sunny out, you know, as opposed to a kind of gloomy day like today where it's overcast, it's really cloudy, and it doesn't really give that sensation of Santa Monica or the location of the coffee shop. So you want to be able to get the views along with the coffee to be able to fully enjoy the experience. For versatility, I am gonna put this coffee at about 2.5 out of 5. Forgiveness. So I'm not gonna forgive this coffee for any characteristics, because all the characteristics are perfectly in place, and the only thing that's really low is the sweetness, but it's fine because the sweetness where it's at makes the iconic tonic syrup flavor. So because everything is where it's at and it makes that perfect espresso tonic, I'm gonna give forgiveness a 4.5 out of 5. All in all, the espresso tonic from GoodBoyBob got a 38.5 out of 50, or a 77% out of 100. So thank you so much for watching Cafe and Views. Tune in to see where we're going next. Peace.